The world's biggest sporting event is no longer just about football. It is now about economics. It is about tourism. It is about investment. It is about infrastructure. And increasingly, it is about geopolitics. In the summer of 2026, the United States, Canada, and Mexico will jointly host the largest FIFA World Cup in history. For the first time ever, 48 national teams will compete. A record 104 matches will be played across North America. Millions of fans are expected to travel across borders. Billions of dollars will flow through airports, hotels, restaurants, transportation networks, and entertainment venues. And according to FIFA, the tournament could generate more than $30 billion in economic activity. That is a staggering number. A number large enough to attract investors, large enough to excite politicians, and large enough to make headlines around the world. But there is a question that economists have been asking for decades. Do mega sporting events really create massive economic benefits? Or are the numbers often exaggerated? Can a football tournament genuinely boost an economy? Or is the World Cup simply another example of economic hype surrounding global sports? Today, we examine the real economics behind the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The opportunities, the risks, the winners, the losers, and whether the promised $30 billion economic impact is reality or myth. To understand the scale of this event, we first need to understand how different this World Cup is from every tournament before it. The 2026 World Cup is the biggest expansion in FIFA history. The tournament will increase from 32 teams to 48 teams. The number of matches will jump from 64 to 104. More teams mean more fans. More matches mean more visitors. And more visitors mean more spending. Unlike previous World Cups that were hosted by a single country, this tournament will stretch across an entire continent. Major cities from Mexico City to Toronto and from Vancouver to New York will become part of a giant month-long economic machine. Every visitor arriving for a match needs transportation. Every visitor needs accommodation. Every visitor needs food. Every visitor spends money. That spending is the foundation of FIFA's economic projections. According to studies commissioned by FIFA, the tournament could generate approximately $30.5 billion in economic output across the three host nations. The organization also estimates a broader contribution, exceeding $40 billion to global economic activity. Those numbers sound enormous. But where exactly does that money come from? The first and most obvious source is tourism. Tourism has always been one of the biggest economic engines of the World Cup. Fans travel from every corner of the planet. Some attend one match. Others follow their national teams across multiple cities. Many extend their trips into vacations. For North America, this means a massive influx of international visitors. Hotels are expected to experience a surge in demand. Airlines anticipate millions of additional passengers. Restaurants expect increased customer traffic. Tour operators are preparing for record bookings. Retail stores are hoping for stronger sales. The hospitality industry may become one of the biggest winners of the tournament. In cities hosting major matches, hotel occupancy rates could reach levels rarely seen outside major holiday seasons. Higher demand often translates into higher prices. For hotel owners, that means increased revenue. For local businesses, it means larger customer volumes. And for governments, it means higher tax collections. But tourism is only part of the story. The World Cup also creates jobs. Large sporting events require enormous logistical support. Security personnel must be hired. Transportation systems need additional workers. Event management companies expand their operations. Media organizations increase staffing. Temporary workers are recruited across multiple sectors. Construction crews may be needed for venue upgrades and infrastructure improvements. For Canada alone, economic studies estimate that more than 20,000 jobs could be created or supported through World Cup-related activity. Across all three countries, the number becomes significantly larger. Job creation is one reason politicians often support hosting major events. It provides a visible economic boost. It creates employment opportunities. And it generates positive headlines. However, economists often caution that not all jobs created by sporting events are permanent. Many positions disappear after the tournament ends. Some employment gains may only last a few months. This raises an important question. Should temporary jobs be counted as long-term economic benefits? The answer depends on who you ask. Another major source of economic activity comes from infrastructure. Historically, infrastructure spending has been one of the most controversial aspects of the World Cup. Countries often spend billions building new stadiums. Many of those stadiums later become underutilized. Some turn into financial burdens. Others become symbols of wasted public spending. Brazil's 2014 World Cup is frequently cited as an example. Several expensive venues struggled to find regular use after the tournament. The situation in North America is different. Most stadiums already exist. The United States possesses numerous NFL stadiums with world-class facilities. Canada and Mexico also have existing venues capable of hosting major matches. As a result, infrastructure costs are expected to be significantly lower than previous World Cups. This changes the economic equation. When fewer resources are spent on new construction, a larger share of tourism revenue can potentially translate into net economic gains. For supporters of the tournament, this is one of the strongest arguments in favor of the 2026 World Cup. The hosts can enjoy many benefits without bearing the massive costs that burdened previous organizers. Yet despite these optimistic projections, economists remain skeptical, and their skepticism is not new. For decades, academic studies have examined the economic impact of major sporting events. The findings are often surprising. Many studies conclude that the actual economic benefits are smaller than the advertised figures. Why? Because measuring economic impact is more complicated than simply counting visitor spending. Consider a simple example. Imagine a tourist spends $1,000 during the World Cup. At first glance, that appears to be $1,000 of new economic activity. But what if another tourist decided not to visit because hotels became too expensive? What if local residents avoided downtown areas due to congestion? What if businesses unrelated to tourism experienced lower sales? Economists call this the crowding out effect. One group of visitors replaces another. Spending shifts rather than increases. The net economic gain becomes smaller than expected. This phenomena has appeared in numerous studies of mega events. Some visitors arrive because of the tournament, others stay away because of it. The result is often more complex than promotional reports suggest. Another challenge involves leakage. Not all money spent during the World Cup stays within the local economy. International hotel chains may send profits abroad. Global corporations sponsoring the event may retain significant portions of revenue. FIFA itself earns billions through broadcasting rights, sponsorships, and commercial partnerships. A substantial share of those earnings does not remain in host cities. This means the economic benefits are distributed unevenly. Some sectors gain considerably, others gain little, and some money leaves the country entirely. The biggest host nation faces another unique challenge. The United States has a massive economy. Its annual GDP exceeds $30 trillion. Against such a large economic backdrop, even several $1 billion of World Cup-related activity becomes relatively small. Economists estimate that the tournament's direct contribution to overall US GDP may be modest. The impact would be highly visible in specific cities, but at the national level, the effect may barely register. For Mexico, the story is different. Mexico's economy is smaller. Tourism represents a more significant share of economic activity. As a result, World Cup spending could have a more noticeable impact. Cities such as Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey may experience substantial tourism-related gains. Canada may also see meaningful benefits, particularly in cities like Toronto and Vancouver. The relative impact is often more important than the absolute number. $1 billion means something very different to different economies. But economics is only one side of the story. The World Cup also carries geopolitical value. In today's interconnected world, nations increasingly compete for influence through soft power. Soft power refers to the ability to shape perceptions and attract attention without using military or economic coercion. Hosting a World Cup is one of the most powerful soft power opportunities available. Billions of viewers will watch matches broadcast from North America. The tournament offers an opportunity to showcase cities, infrastructure, culture, and economic strength. For the United States, the event reinforces its position as a global entertainment and business hub. For Canada, it highlights its role as an open and modern economy. For Mexico, it provides a platform to attract tourism, investment, and international attention. The geopolitical significance becomes even more interesting when viewed through the lens of North American cooperation. The World Cup arrives at a time when economic integration among the United States, Canada, and Mexico is becoming increasingly important. Supply chains are evolving. Manufacturing is shifting closer to home. Trade relationships are deepening. The tournament offers a symbolic demonstration of regional cooperation. 3 countries. 1 tournament, 1 integrated economic zone. This message matters in an era of rising geopolitical competition, especially as North America seeks to strengthen its economic position relative to other major regions. There is also an investment angle. Large international events often influence investor perceptions. When millions of visitors experience a country firsthand, some return later as investors, others explore business opportunities. Global media exposure can strengthen a country's brand. While difficult to measure, these long-term effects may be among the most valuable outcomes of hosting the World Cup. Unlike hotel bookings or ticket sales, reputation benefits can last for years. Yet even these benefits are difficult to quantify. This is why economists frequently debate World Cup projections. Some focus on immediate spending. Others emphasize long-term gains. Some count every dollar that circulates through the economy. Others only count net new activity. Depending on the methodology used, the estimated impact can vary dramatically. This explains why headline figures often generate controversy. A projected $30 billion impact does not necessarily mean $30 billion of new wealth. Economic impact calculations often include indirect and induced effects. A tourist spends money at a restaurant, the restaurant pays employees. Employees spend their wages elsewhere. Economists use multipliers to estimate these additional rounds of spending. Critics argue that these multipliers can sometimes overstate reality. Supporters argue they capture the broader benefits of economic activity. Both sides have valid points, and that is why the debate continues. So, what is the final verdict? Can the 2026 World Cup really generate $30 billion? The answer is yes and no. Yes, because billions of dollars will unquestionably flow through North America's economy during the tournament. Hotels will earn revenue. Airlines will sell tickets. Restaurants will serve customers. Workers will be employed. Governments will collect taxes. Economic activity will increase. But also, no, because the headline figure should not be interpreted as pure economic gain. Some spending would have occurred anyway. Some money will leave the local economy. Some benefits are temporary, and some projections rely on assumptions that may not fully materialize. The truth lies somewhere between the excitement of FIFA's forecasts and the skepticism of economists. The 2026 World Cup will likely deliver meaningful economic benefits, particularly for tourism, hospitality, transportation, and entertainment sectors. Host cities will experience significant gains. Mexico and Canada may see especially noticeable impacts relative to the size of their economies. However, the tournament is unlikely to transform the economic future of North America. It will not solve structural economic challenges. It will not create permanent prosperity, and it will not generate unlimited wealth simply because football fans arrive. What it will do is demonstrate how sports, economics, tourism, investment, and geopolitics have become deeply interconnected in the modern world. The 2026 World Cup is more than a football tournament. It is a global business event, a tourism event, an investment event, and a geopolitical event. Whether the final economic impact reaches $30 billion or falls short of expectations, one thing is already certain. The biggest World Cup in history is also becoming one of the biggest economic experiments in sports history. And when the final whistle blows, economists may be studying its results for years to come. What do you think? Will the 2026 World Cup truly deliver the massive economic benefits being promised? Or is the $30 billion figure simply another sports economics myth? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want more in-depth analysis on global economics, financial markets, investment trends, and economic geopolitics, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who are interested in understanding how the world economy really works. Thank you for watching Economic Horizon. See you in the next video.